In my Longworth Chuck video, you may have noticed that all my hardware came from Pop Shed. Pop Shed are a small family-owned and run business here in Victoria, although they do ship nationally. They are fantastic supporters of local community. They are sponsoring the upcoming Australian Woodturners exhibition, and they are a great bunch of blokes. And they quite like the Longworth Chuck video and were kind enough to supply me with a Holey Cheese Knife kit and some Tasmanian myrtle, which I will put together today. I start by finding the centre and handing a spur drive, then in to make a tenon to hold in the 4-jaw chuck. This is done very easily using the small square carbide tool. The larger one I've got has a radius on it. Using the tailstock to align the blank ensures that it's nice and square on the lathe. I then need to drill some holes to accept the tang of the knife, and as you can see it's 5.5mm for the tang thick and about 28mm long. And made sure to turn the lathe speed down to about 600 RPM to do the drilling. After the hole was drilled, I could use the live centre in that hole and use the carbide tools to create the tenon for the ferrule that goes around the knife. Again, the small square carbide tool works a little bit better for turning small tenons like this because it's nice and straight, whereas the large one I've got has a nice big radius on it. After I got the tenon roughly sized, I switched to the one-handed parting tool that we have. I find this is a little bit easier to control and lets me do a much smaller area, so if I screw that up and get it a bit undersized, I can waste less material. Then it's just a matter of shaping the handle to how I liked. I didn't really have a game plan going in, so it went through a couple of iterations and lots of different tools. For most objects on the lathe, I use Triple E Ultra Shine, which is abrasive suspended in wax, which really gets a fantastic glow up before you even put the finish on. As you can see here, it's already glossy before the finish goes on. I'm using U-Butte's Shallow Wax Glow to get a really nice luster and high gloss on the handle. I usually use about 3 coats. Friction polishes like this are the easiest thing to apply and look gorgeous. If you don't have a lathe, you can still do this project. You just need to start off by drilling the hole for the tang of the knife, and then I took it over to the bandsaw to cut out a rough shape. Once that rough shape was cut out, I could roughly cut out the tenon that I would need to secure the ferrule. The ferrule isn't going to fit on a square tenon, so the first step is to round that out, or round that over using a chisel. It doesn't have to be an exactly snug fit like it is on the lathe. Using epoxy or CA will act as a good filler and it'll still hold in nice and secure. Then it's just a matter of shaping the handle how you like it. Probably the hardest part is actually getting a good grip on it. Perhaps it would be best to glue in the knife first so that you can hold that in the vise. Or not cutting off the end of it until after all the shaping is done. I used a series of rasps, chisels and a spoke shave, and even some bench chisels just to establish the shape. Even though Jarrah is quite a hardwood, you can see how quickly a cheap crappy rasp actually will start to shape that. Now, I don't need a second handle since I've only got the one kit, so I'm not doing probably as good a job as I should or could. So take this with a grain of salt of how the end results will actually be. To secure the knife and ferrule into the handle, I'm just using some thick CA. However, you could also use some 5-minute epoxy. Ideally, you want something nice and waterproof, that way when you clean the knife, if any water happens to get inside the ferrule, you don't have to worry about the glue loosening up. If you do get any glue on the knife or ferrule, wipe it off immediately, or if you're using CA, you can just use some acetone to clean it up. There you go, there's how you make a turned handle for a Holey cheese knife. A non-turned one I haven't applied any finish to, and I'd probably sand that up a bit more. This didn't turn out quite as well as I'd wanted it to, but Jarrah was probably a very poor choice. It's quite a hardwood. Something softer like rock maple, something like that, would work a lot better with these cheap rasps and files. And if you used a power sander, you could get those curves done quite nicely. Additionally, I probably should have changed over to my 1/4 inch blade for my bandsaw to get finer curves and refine that a lot easier. Thanks for watching.